How's it going today? It's your man Cham here, and today we're at a very, very wet Malaysia for round 12 of the ASR F2 Championship. Now, there's not much I can really say about this qualifying session, to be honest with you. I mean, here we are. We're on intermediate tyres, and, well, we've got one chance to do a good lap before it gets too wet to even be able to set one. And unfortunately for us, it was not a good lap at all. I only went to 149.7. It's just not good enough as an ASR lap, especially on the intermediate tyres. The rain only got heavier, and so I ended up in 14th position. Not a good starting place, and it's the last place I wanted to be, especially in a field like this. But anyway, I guess we have to rise above it, and so here we are, about to start the race. In reality, almost anything would have been improvement from here, really. But anyway, the lights are on, and now they're not, as away we go for round 12 of the ASR F2 Championship. We've got an alright start, we've been an expert off the line, so here we are, we've gained another place into 13th. It's about 3 below where we want to be, but it's worth a shot going into the first corner to try and get past a few people on the outside. So here we are, we've taken the outside line here, we've got Headshot in front of us looking for a battle with other people. He's put the brakes on, we've been pretty lucky to keep our front wing here actually. But anyway, here we are, we're going through. We've got Mazda in front of us, and we've got Toyota behind. Quite frankly, the last thing I want to do in an ASR race is be stuck outside the points in 12th. So I've gone around the outside of Mazda. I've had a look. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get him at that right-hander, so we're going to go through. We're going to be able to get him on this sweeping corner. We've taken him through the left. He's not going to be able to fight back during the right, and so there we have it. That's 11th place in the bag. Unfortunately, however, it seems in battling him, we've lost a fair bit of time to Headshot in front of us, and so now we might have a bit of competition from Grunting Tortoise behind us as well, who's had a pretty good start. But with that being said, we don't want him past us as we go into the third sector, and as he normally does, he's decided to go for a move up the inside. That hasn't come off for him though, and so we managed to stay in 11th place. It's a pretty simple one from here. Catch Headshot in front and you'll get in the points. However, other people didn't exactly have the same ideas, as Starlin in front of us has gotten a scrap with someone and came off much worse for wear. So here we are, the fast guy in second place in the championships lost out on a few places, and so here he is right in front of us. What can we do to overtake him? We've got the inside line, but he's too far in front, so we're not going to be able to do it, but we're going to have the slipstream on him. And with Headshot in front of him as well, we're going to get fantastic line. Unfortunately, however, he managed to pull away, but we're not having any of it, so we've gone for a grand old dive up the outside of him. That's going to turn to the inside in this corner, and so hopefully we can get a better exit. And that's not happened. That has not happened at all. Even Tortoise has got a better run than us, and now he's going to go for a move up into 11th place. Unfortunately for us, however, things were only going to get worse. Headshot's at a bad exit coming out of the corner. Stalin's gone wide, and boom. There goes our front wing. We have now got damage. So much fun. I just don't know how to sum up how annoying fighting in the midfield is in league races. I mean, look at this. We've nearly made even more contact with Starlin as Tortoise forces him off the road. But what can we do about it? We can only fight through in our quest for points. And so far, things were looking up. We caught onto the back of Tortoise like glue over the course of the third sector despite our front wing damage, and so here we were. We were going for a move on 10th place, but Tortoise had other ideas, and so he's gone for a grand old dive bomb on Headshot and completely butchered it. So we've managed to take 10th off him, and we're back in the points. Sadly though, I've spoken way too soon because he's got a fantastic exit off the last corner, and so here he is back in 10th, trying to get 9th off Headshot despite his Schumacher-like defending. However, forget defending, we're going to try Ricardo-like attacking. We're going to make a move up the inside, and side pod glitches have struck me. They have made me look like a right knob. Honestly, it was all my fault. I have no idea why I was trying to go for a move up the inside like that. There was no room. But anyway, here we are, and oh my god. And I thought I was doing some bad overtaking moves. Here we are in the wall. We're in P20. And quite frankly, what can we possibly gain out of this race anymore? There are no words. From the high of Singapore to this, I'm really not happy about it. And truth be told, it's just annoying that we can't avoid trouble in these ASR races. It's great fun, but it's just so frustrating that my crash count is as high as it is now. Quite frankly, a lot of the accidents were just things I could have easily avoided. But anyway, here we are. It's lap 4, we're into the pit lane, and out we go onto a track with literally no one anywhere to be seen. Like, No joke, the closest car to us has just started Sector 2 and we're literally just coming out of the pit lane. In fact, it was so boring that by the time we got to lap 10 we hadn't seen another car for 6 laps. And quite literally, the only thing we could do in the time was keep the car on the track and just look at the ominous clouds forming in the sky. And finally, on lap 12, things decided to start kicking off again. Those clouds got to the point where everyone was just looking at their dashboards, looking at the skies, and just deciding to go and choose some intermediate tyres, getting ready for the future. In fact, there were drivers with such braveness that they decided to already go out on inters. Expert behind me, who had pitted off the hards, decided to go straight onto them. This could work spades for him, but at the same time, it could fall flat on his face. We'll have to see. The track was only getting wetter and wetter, and who knows what would happen from here. My times are starting to slow down, but I think that was just a combination of my tyres being at nearly puncture level wear, plus the fact that the track was getting greasier and greasier as I went on. With that being said though, I still felt like the dry tyre was the optimum tyre to be on. The last thing I wanted to do was get on the inters and just completely cook the tyre. And so because of that info, I decided to stay out, but just conveniently, my man Jeff just happened to ask that we change strategies as I went past the pit lane. Thanks for that. Thank you very much, man. Thankfully, his advice per se was not the be all and end all of everything, as I was still feeling okay. I was losing time to the inters runners, but we were still making a net gain on everything, and with that being said, we'd be able to save the intermediate tyre for a bit at the end. We hadn't really felt the effects of the rain until we got to the third sector, and wow, it was getting pretty bad now, so we decided to pit. We came in for a set of some of the green striped intermediate tyres, and we came out right into the path of a pretty angry expert who claims that apparently this is a dive bomb. Yeah, I didn't think so either, but we had lost some time to him, so I wasn't exactly too happy at this point anyway. With that being said, I had other things on my mind. I needed to keep this car on track, and we were making pretty big mistakes left, right and centre. And so Expert was quite literally at the bottom of my list of priorities, despite his attempts to have a look around the inside of me there. And so the race went on, I shook Expert, and then I met up with my teammate Mosmatty, who was struggling like a dog in these wet conditions. He was running real strong, but he'd had some wheel glitches earlier on in the race, and now he really was not enjoying these intermediate conditions, while I seemed to just relish in them, despite my qualifying being very poor on them. Anyway, we made the move, and in we went to 13th. With Quacker and a few of the other guys up in front of us, but not too far away, we knew that points was still possible, so we just kept grinding out some good laps. However, the group in front of me are not bad drivers, and so it'd be an uphill and mammoth task to even think of catching them, really. Like, we're making some inroads on them, but it just wasn't enough, really. And to make matters worse, it was getting even heavier with rain, so we'd have to think about pitting to wets soon. That crossover came at the end of the 21st lap, where everyone else around me had boxed for wets. The tyres were feeling good according to my teammate Mosmatty, and it was just too wet for intermediates anyway, so we'd gone onto them and dropped back to 13th. And, well, the only competition we'd really have behind us is Mozza, and that's it. We could get through Quacker in front of us, but we just got to keep the car on the track, really. And even that seems impossible to do at this point. Unlike the intermediate weather, I just could not hack this wet weather stuff. Everywhere else wasn't actually that bad in comparison, but it's just those two corners, man. I could not do them to save my life in this condition. The second and third sectors of the track just felt great, but the first sector, oh man, I just could not do it to save my life. And because of that, we'd ended up with Mozza behind us, a driver who was clearly faster in these conditions. He had unfortunately qualified in last place due to a few issues in qualifying, but he was on a roll. He was not going to put up with 13th, and so he's right on our tail looking for a move. And, well, my driving through that third corner just made things a lot easier for him to get past me. In fact, so easy that he managed to get the inside line and go through at the 90-degree right-hander. I couldn't get past him there, but I had a very good chance of getting past him at the straight. So going into the first corner, I made the move and gave it a right old dive up his inside to try and take 12th place back. I managed to keep it going through that one corner, but Mozza wasn't going to take it sitting down, so he decided to just dive back up my inside in a fair enough move. And unfortunately for him, he got onto the line where you can't really get a good exit, but Thankfully for him, I just forgot how to do any sort of driving in the wet, so he managed to get through pretty easy. I similarly got through pretty easily on the next lap as well. It was lap 26, so I couldn't be screwing around for much longer. I decided to make the move. I managed to get it to stick for a bit. He was well on the outside, so he couldn't fight back, so he had to slot in behind me, and there I was. I'd finally shook him off for a bit. It seemed like if I could keep my car on track, I'd be able to gain some time and actually keep 12th, and no, I can't even do that. I've essentially spoon-fed him 12th place here. I'm going to keep him 13th now. If I can just keep it going, I might be able to catch him. But those plans were dashed as I made the exact same mistake on the very next lap. By this time, I'd lost way too much time for Mozza, and, well, I just had to hold station and hope the expert behind didn't catch me. Especially if I'm going to keep making mistakes like that. Thankfully, my fears of having the man catch me were not realised, and so I took the flag in 13th place. There's only really 4 words I can say about this race, and they are, thank God it's over. Such a bad race for me. 13th place is not what I was looking for. Right from the start I had a pretty awful race, and, well, all I can say is congratulations to Mercedes, who won the Constructors' Championship with their results. With 2 more races to go after this, no one can catch them, and, well, I'm hoping that I can catch a few of the guys ahead of me in the championship. It'll be an uphill task, but I reckon I can catch at least Mosmatty in 9th place. Hopefully that sticks true and we can. He's only 5 points ahead, so it won't be that hard, but at the same time, who knows. Anyway, it's been your man Cham, and I will see you next time.